The topic of decriminalizing THC is being discussed today at Denton City Hall. Stay tuned for more.
Over 4 million people quit their jobs in August. We have the story.
And exercise doesn't have to stop at any age. Stay tuned to find out more.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm David Castillo.
And I'm Isabella Quintanilla. Today is Election Day, which means this year is considered an off-year election. This means that neither a presidential nor a midterm election takes place. But regardless, the decisions that voters make will have crucial consequences for U.S. politics. CNN's Chris Wynn reports.
Election Day in the U.S. The results of these off-year races potentially providing roadmaps to the 2022 midterms and the 2024 presidential contest. In Virginia, national focus on a statewide race. Former Democratic Governor Terry McAuliffe seeking the office again.
And I'm running again. I got big, bold plans of where I want to take this state.
Really nice to see you.
But is facing a tight contest against Republican business executive Glenn Youngkin.
I've just felt this great surge of momentum for the last 6 to 8 weeks.
In New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy aims for a second term, but it's been more than 40 years since a Democratic incumbent governor won re-election there.
What we've been doing for the past 4 years is working, and that folks want to see more of it.
Other races include mayoral elections in some of America's biggest cities. In New York City, Brooklyn Borough President and former police captain Eric Adams is widely seen as the frontrunner. And in Boston, history will be made with either Michelle Wu or Anissa Essaibi George becoming the city's first woman and person of color to be elected.
I'm a mom with kids in our schools. I live in a multi-generational home. I've been in City Hall for 10 years now, seeing just how much power we have when city government steps up and connects with our communities.
Eyes also on Minneapolis as voters face a referendum on police reform following the May 2020 murder of George Floyd. In Washington, I'm Chris Wynn.
Here in Texas, there are a number of local elections, but on a statewide level, there are 8 constitutional amendments on the ballot. ntTV's Nathan Mayer has more. Nathan?
Thanks, David. Voting is going on tonight for 8 of those 218 proposed amendments to the Texas Constitution. 2 of these propositions are in response to last year's amendments focusing on mitigating COVID-19. The first of these being voted on is Proposition number 3, SJR 27. This focuses on the issue of restrictions on religious services and church-going. Due to COVID-19, an amendment was added to the Texas Bill of Rights for allowing state and local governments to prohibit or limit religious services. However, if this bill were to pass tonight, it would outlaw this action limiting religious services by the local and state government officials. The other COVID-19 related bill being voted on is Proposition 6, SJR 19. In the midst of the pandemic, caregivers and family members of nursing home residents were restricted access to the facilities their loved ones were residing. If passed, this amendment would allow a resident to name a designated caregiver, making that person their legal right, allowing them to have visitation rights. And while voting continues on for a while longer at the state level, it's not the only voting happening in our area. ntTV's Alyssa Uarte is at the Denton City Hall with more on local proposals. Alyssa?
That's right, Nathan. I'm here at Denton City Hall, where earlier today City Council member Deb Armator hopes to end the decriminalization of those with the small amounts of possession of marijuana. She will discuss her ordinance of Denton Responsible Reformation of Cannabis Enforcement Act of 2021. The ordinance consists of 3 main parts. It will ban the arrest of misdemeanor possession of marijuana Class A or B, unless it was a violent felony or drug trafficking case. It will also ban citations of cannabis residue or paraphilia. And lastly, it will also ban the use of city funding to pay for testing to determine whether THC levels are legal. This portion in response to the state's hemp bill, which allows legal levels of THC. The organization Decriminalize Denton argues that the enforcement of small amounts of marijuana possession affects low-income and minority populations. Dr. Alex Del Carmen from the Criminal Justice Department at Tarleton State University states that the criminal justice money can be better spent in tackling bigger crimes and more serious offenses. If you want to stay up to date with the results of this proposition, please visit the link below. That's all I have for y'all. Back to y'all in the studio.
Thanks, Alyssa. You know, David, when I was walking to class today, it was freezing.
You know, as much as I love the cold weather, I was a bit unprepared for it this morning. Let's head over to weather anchor Hannah Gonzalez for a glimpse of this week's forecast.
Well, Isabel and David, we're finally having this cooler weather due to the cold front that finally pushed through Denton. Let's see how it's affecting our conditions. Right now we're sitting at 55 degrees. However, it does feel a bit cooler at 51 due to the scattered showers and a wind speed of 9 miles per hour coming from the northeast. Taking a look at tonight's conditions, around 9 p.m. temperatures won't change too much. However, it's the wind speed that does pick up at 12 miles per hour. Still with cloudy skies and passing showers. If we take a look at tomorrow's conditions, make sure you bring a heavy jacket because temperatures are going to be a lot like what we saw today. Sitting at 56 degrees feels the same, and a 6 mile per hour wind speed coming from the northeast. That's all I have for the first look of weather. I'm going to run inside and grab a jacket to warm up for the full forecast. David, back to you.
Thanks, Hannah. Get warm. A fast food restaurant is upgrading their business in a futuristic way. White Castle is replacing humans with robots. Last year, the fast food chain began this innovation at their Chicago area location. The robot named Flippy cooked French fries but needed human assistance to fill and empty the fry basket. But now the burger chain has a new, smaller version of the machine named Flippy 2. This robot will take over even more human interactions, essentially eliminating the need for any human help. The company has plans to put the robots in 10 other locations, but while this may be great for the French fries, it does create uncertainty among people looking for a job.
However, instead of looking for a job, 4 million people quit their jobs in August. The U.S. Department of Labor is calling it the Great Resignation. CNN's Steve Wolford has more on this new trend and what it could mean for our economic future.
It covers a variety of things, but it's a phenomenon we hadn't seen before.
Economist Mike Pequeen on what the Bureau of Labor Statistics calls the quits rate, which is measured against the total employment rate. And it rose to an all-time high of 2.9% in August, a staggering 4.3 million workers.
The catalyst for it all seems to have been the quarantine and the lockdown, where people really reevaluated what they were doing and what they want to do with the rest of their lives.
It's happening at a time when there are 10 million job openings nationwide. We're seeing that firsthand in southern Nevada, businesses struggling to find enough staff to even stay open. And all of those job openings continue to fuel the quits rate.
Well, we know that people feel very comfortable that they can get a job anywhere if they want one right now. So if anyone is at all dissatisfied with their job, the temptation to quit that job is very high.
Others aren't anxious to return to work because financially they don't have to.
There's no question that the pandemic unemployment assistance was a large cash infusion throughout the United States. And many people did increase their savings rate dramatically. So people are still sitting on nest eggs that allow them the comfort to make this decision about whether to go back to work or not.
Pequeen says the pandemic also allowed many to work from home, and they want to keep it that way, even if it means changing employers.
Work from home is the holy grail at this point. And we also see people really demanding from new jobs the ability to work from home. Work from home has become the new recruiting tool. If your job allows people the flexibility to work from home for a few days a week, you have a greater chance of filling that job.
Elderly Texans were victims of a major scam. We'll have more after the break.
Governor Greg Abbott backs state lawmakers about iconic book. Details when we return.
80-year-old William Doc Gallagher will spend 3 life terms in prison for scamming millions of dollars from elderly Texans. He was sentenced today in state district court. Gallagher was a Texas radio host who used his Christian radio station broadcasts to promote his Ponzi scheme. Victims testified that they invested tens of thousands of dollars in the Gallagher Financial Group, in some cases selling their homes or borrowing money to live when their investments failed. According to authorities, he advertised on radio stations for nearly 10 years, convincing people to invest in his company.
One state representative has collected a list of books from libraries across Texas that may be removed from the shelves.
The question is, why? What makes these
Thanks, guys.
a potential problem?
Thanks, guys. I'm at UNT's own Willis Library, a place used to gather and read, study, but most importantly, learn. Well, State Representative Matt Krause, who chairs the House General Investigating Committee, has collected a list of over 800 books in public schools that deal with race, gender identity, and sexual orientation. Krause has created a list of over 800 books and wants schools to report how many of these books they have as well as where they are located. The Fort Worth Republican also demanded that school districts report any other books that could cause students guilt, anguish, or any other form of psychological distress because of their race or sex, or convey that a student, by virtue of their race or sex, is incoherently racist or sexist or apprehensive, whether unconsciously or consciously. He gave the districts until November 12th to respond, but he did not specify why he wanted the information or the consequences for failing to comply. Krause is challenging incumbent Ken Paxton for the Republican Attorney General nomination in next year's primaries. That's all for now. Back to you guys in studio.
Thanks, Wendy. The U.S. air safety regulators are issuing a warning to pilots and airlines on how the 5G cell phone service could negatively impact navigation equipment. The Federal Aviation Administration says that flight crews using 5G service in flight could interfere with planes' altimeters. Now the navigation equipment is able to tell pilots how high an aircraft is by bouncing radio waves off the ground. The real problem is that the 5G service operates on the same spectrum, and the FAA and Federal Communications Commission are involved in an ongoing dispute about how those frequencies are allowed. In the meantime, pilots will keep reminding passengers about the importance of turning off their cell phones during flight.
Well, David, that fall weather sure didn't last long.
As fast as people take down the spooky season decorations and throw up the Christmas lights, the fall weather was out the door. Let's head over to weather anchor Hannah Gonzalez for more.
Well, before we get into weather, want to put down that phone and catch a flight for the holidays. Here's what you need to know. With more than half of Americans fully vaccinated, many are ready for travel, and with remote working, their holiday visits will last a bit longer than past years. For Thanksgiving holiday, 25% of people plan to travel, 31% for the December holidays, and only 15% for New Year's. Now, the most popular days of travel predicted this year is December 23rd and the 26th. However, with the Delta variant, many who have previously stated they were ready to travel have now halted all holiday plans. Let's get into that weather forecast. If we take a look at our current conditions across the North Texas map, we can see we're all in that same boat. If you're just tuning in, Denton sitting at 55 degrees, Graham at 52. Let's go ahead and zoom out and look at our Texas map. We can see Austin, Houston, and El Paso are a bit warmer than us, and Amarillo only sitting at 43 degrees. For that 7-day forecast, we can see tomorrow we're going to have showers with a high of 74, low of 55, and a 65% chance of rain. However, the sun will come back to us for the rest of the week. On the weekend, on Saturday, we're going to have a high of 74, low 43. Sunday, a high of 79, low of 53. And then showers are predicted for Monday and Tuesday, but we'll keep you updated as the weather progresses. David, back to you.
Oak Street Draft House is giving back to the community in a great way.
And there's a group of older ladies that are still pursuing their passion for softball. We have more after the break.
As the holidays approach, many people are looking for ways to give back. One local business has found a way to carry on with the charitable spirit throughout the year.
Yes, my name is John Williams, and I own Eastside, Denton, Miss Angeline's, and Oak Street Draft House. Well, I was born and raised here. Haven't left yet, and went to high school at Ryan High School, and then graduated from UNT back in 2004. And I've always just kind of fell in love with the town and the people, and just the area and stuff like that. So decided to want to put my roots down and just open my own place, and that's what we did with Oak Street back about 10 years ago.
And while John may have stayed close to home, it was more than the hometown feel that kept him around. It was in part due to the community's charitable spirit, which is what also sparked the idea in Mr. Williams for Charity Mondays.
It all started at Oak Street Draft House, and I just got kind of wet and got into the bar business, and felt like I need to give back to my community because the community gives to us. That's kind of one of the reasons I fell in love with this town, is just the great people in this town that not only myself, but there's tons and tons and tons of other people that open their pocketbook, give back, help people when they need, just what it should be like.
And if you want to find ways to take part, there are plenty more opportunities to do just that.
We got a few coming up, so just come on out, have a good time, have a drink, and help give back.
Charity Mondays throughout the year, and will continue to donate 25% of their proceeds to a local charity. You know, I know what I'll be drinking, but I'm kind of hungry, and I'm looking for a new restaurant. You got any recommendations, Isabella?
I actually do, David. Our segment anchor, Madison Myers, just took a visit to hometown favorite. Tell us what you found, Madison.
Isabella. If you're looking for a place with great food and a beautiful atmosphere, Greenhouse is a perfect place for you. Being in Denton for over 2 decades, Greenhouse has made sure to leave its mark on the community. The restaurant is always looking for ways that they can give back to the city, to those who have supported them for so long.
Greenhouse is a locally owned restaurant that has been in Denton ever since 1998. The restaurant is known for its beautiful atmosphere and greenery inspired by what the building once was before becoming a neighborhood restaurant.
This building actually used to be Selby's Flower Shop, and it was a greenhouse, which is how Ken, the owner, got the name. We've been open since 1998, so been going strong for a while now, thank goodness.
Greenhouse is not only known for its legacy in Denton, but for its extremely wide-ranged menu, offering a little something for everyone.
So we have a wood fire grill. So everything that's on the grill is cooked over the wood fire grill. Probably our most popular is the honey chipotle salmon. So we grill the salmon over the wood fire grill. There's a delicious honey chipotle sauce with black sesame seeds that they put on top of it. And it comes with broccolini and mashed potatoes, and it's amazing. It's really tasty.
The neighborhood restaurant prioritizes being involved in the community and making it known that it is much more important than just the food.
You're there for your people, they're for you, and you know, we call ourselves a neighborhood restaurant.
With COVID-19 striking the community hard, Greenhouse wanted to offer something special to show how much they truly care.
We're trying to give back as well. Whenever we were shut down to go only, we had what we called family meals. So since there were so many other restaurants that did have to shut down, we offered meals to anyone in the service industry for free. And it was a daily thing. We kept it up for, oh gosh, several weeks, months even.
With COVID-19 numbers dropping, Greenhouse has hopes of bring back fun activities and game nights that they offered pre-pandemic. You can visit Greenhouse here in Denton, right off of the square. Back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Madison. As hungry as that just made me, it doesn't compare to how hungry the Braves are for a World Series win.
As nice as it would have been to see them win it all on Halloween, the drama lives on. Lincoln, what are the odds we have a World Series champion crowned tonight?
You know, guys, as disappointed as I would be for baseball to end tonight, it would be pretty nice to see the other Texas team that's in it lose at their home stadium. I'll have more info on the game tonight and more right after the break. Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Henry Ruggs III is facing prison time after he was arrested earlier this morning. The 22-year-old was behind the wheel of a Chevy Corvette that collided with the back of a Toyota RAV4, killing the driver of the RAV4. Ruggs also reportedly showed signs of impairment at the scene before being transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Ruggs is expected to be charged with DUI, resulting in death. After being charged, Ruggs is expected to be put on the commissioner's exempt list, making him ineligible to suit up with the team. The Raiders wide receiver was in his second year with the team after leaving Alabama and had recorded 50 receptions and 4 touchdowns in 20 games. UNT Athletic Director Ren Baker has signed a new contract extension with the university that'll run all the way to 2029. This news comes just about a week after UNT announced its move to the American Athletic Conference in 2023. This new extension is good for $625,000 in the first year, but will increase by $25,000 every year. In other words, by 2028, Baker will be making $800,000. The deal also has some extra benefits for Baker, as he will be getting a $100,000 retention bonus, which will increase to $125,000 in 2023 and $150,000 in 2025. Baker will also be getting a new car, $7,200 in annual automobile allowance, and a membership to the Denton Country Club. The deal also has some extra incentives for some athletic milestones, like a bowl bid for or March Madness berths, both of which UNT was able to accomplish last year. And now moving on to my favorite time of year, Fall Classic in the U.S. The Atlanta Braves and the team from Houston will be meeting in Houston once again to close out the 2021 Fall Classic. The Braves are currently leading the series 3-2, but now home field advantage will favor the team in orange for games 6 and 7. The last time we saw these teams was in Atlanta on Sunday, with the Braves trying to win their first World Series since 1995. The Braves were able to get out to a 4-0 lead after a grand slam early in the game, but the other Texas team wasn't going down without a fight. They were able to tie the game just 2 innings later and ended up taking Game 5 by a final score of 9-5. First pitch tonight is at 7:05, and I think I speak for all Rangers fans when I say there would be nothing worse than seeing the Houston team win the World Series at home. So come on, Braves, finish the job. That's all for me tonight. Back to y'all at the desk.
I'm with you on that, Lincoln. Now, one thing I know is that Link really likes baseball, but has a soft spot in his heart for softball. We're going to close the show tonight by introducing you to the oldest softball team in the country, and it's a group of ladies that really do hit a home run.
On the diamond, experience can be quite the advantage. For this women's team, there's no shortage of that.
It's the oldest team in the country.
This is the Colorado Peaches softball team.
I, like a lot of the Peaches, just love the game and want to keep playing.
They're all over 50.
I'm Fran Simon. I'm 52, just a baby peach. I pitch, and I'm 57.
Some are well over 50.
I'm 75. I'm 82. I'm 90, going on 91.
That last one's Maggie.
I think I left my glove over here.
The oldest of the Peaches.
He should be my manager.
Maggie's my idol. I want to be like her when I grow up.
She's been on the team now for 12 years with no sign of slowing down.
Boxing is what keeps me in shape.
And she's serious about that.
Give him a good punch.
but clearly not the most serious of the bunch.
Joy, pitcher! When we're not having fun, it's not working.
Even though their game isn't always perfect, it's always positive.
Way to go! I look good!
Very
Turn it, ladies.
positive.
And then she is a superstar woman.
Some friends came out here and saw us. They said, I can't believe this. It's fabulous. It's really fun.
At their age, you could say they've been around the bases a few times.
We've had knee replacements and hip replacements, and my back went out a couple of months ago.
2 knee replacements, shoulder replacement, surgery.
But still, they're out here.
Okay, speed here.
We caught up with the Peaches ahead of the World Senior Games, a big tournament out in Utah,
How many out?
hoping to repeat or top their success from 2019.
We won the silver.
The same color as some of their hair.
Going home.
A big achievement given what was happening
Out of there.
off the diamond.
She was having surgery for her cancer.
The team's coach, Gail, who, like these ladies, wouldn't let illness or age get in her way.
She was in her hospital bed, and she was coaching us.
On FaceTime, I was holding my phone so she could coach, and she gave directions.
This year, though, Gail will be with the Peaches on their sleeves.
Our coach passed away in March. Just an amazing woman.
This will be the first big tournament for the team without her.
I miss her as a friend. We actually built this together.
She was wonderful. Wish she was still around.
Watch 3!
This year, Fran Simon is coaching in Gail's honor.
We win just by being out here.
Still that athletic when I'm 91.
Yeah, I'd be lucky to wake up without any back pain, so that is truly inspiring. Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night at 6 here on North Texas Television.